details on that so you guys have some context into PM optimization since it does impact all of you greatly. So we are very excited about this. This is phase one of many phases to come and many things that are going to impact this team in a very positive way. So quickly, the agenda. Amanda's going to go over that overview. Then we're going to jump into color work being in the hub, a couple new proof types, and then new devices. So without further ado.
All right. Happy Friday. Great. I'm really dragging today, so I need you guys to bring the energy because I am just like, holy cow, it's Friday. I'm ready for the weekend. I don't know about you guys, but I sure am. How many of you have heard of PM optimization? Do you know anything about that? Or just the term? Just the term?
Let's make my life better.
That's right. That's our goal. That's our goal. Well, I came in about a year and a half ago, and I came in as a PM process developer. And I sat with a lot of you guys, and you guys gave me your different pain points and kind of all the inefficiencies that you guys see. And as much as I tried really hard to help you guys, I kept hitting roadblocks. And a lot of it was because you guys are in 5, 6, 7, 8 different systems. All the different teams are doing things different ways. Some of you are using spreadsheets, trackers, smart sheets, ActiveCollab, kind of all of the above. And it was just super challenging. And then what we saw is that you guys are really responsible for everything from A to Z. You know, you guys are color experts, you're logistics experts, you're out running on the floor applying tape, you're kind of doing a little bit of everything. And that makes it super challenging when you come in. I know, Leslie, you're brand new. It's super hard to get up to speed. You try really hard, but there's just so many things that you guys are responsible for. And what we realized is we need to change things up a little bit. We really need to define some clear roles and responsibilities and let you guys be talented in what you're really good at. So what is your skill set and how can we define that and make you guys functional experts in different areas? So that's to come. Then also, we're not even on the right slide. There we go. Perfect. I love that. I love cartooning, by the way. We do a ton of data entry around here. I don't know if you guys like entering data, but it seems like you guys enter customer, I don't know, like 20 times for the same project and dates about 50 times. And really the goal here is to, if you enter in customer up front, that should flow through your whole project. You shouldn't have to re-enter it again. And so that's what we're looking at doing. And also, tribal knowledge. All of you guys have that inside your head and you're trying to tell the person next to you, and it's like, I can't remember how to do color tickets for the life of me. It's so hard to remember all that. So what we're looking at doing is taking those business rules you have in your head and putting them in the system. You know, Clatterit's done a really good job with that. I know, you know, when we've interviewed you guys, you say, please don't go back to PACE because Clatterit's helped us so much just having those business rules in there. And so really for everything else, that's what we're looking at doing is how can we put more of that in the system for you. And then from reoccurring work, so we have, you know, projects that come back again, but you guys have to re-enter those specs every single time it comes in. And so we're looking at a way so that we can actually leverage that data and instead of reinventing the wheel every time, that we actually use that data for reorders. So from a high level, that's, you know, really what we're looking to do for our goals for this project. For May, super excited. So this week, we are taking color work and that's going to move into Clattery. So no more PACE tickets. Super, I don't know, I'm like super excited about that one. As much as you guys like applying tape and Velcro on your hard proofs, we'll have a new proof option that Ben will go over that will help you guys be able to service your clients more and get you off the floor. I mean, that's the goal, right? And then next week will be estimate request. So I know you guys really like surf form and how you have to like send it to yourself and then edit the subject line and then send it off, or you're emailing back and forth with Fab and you have the help desk and all these different ways that you do it. But we're gonna streamline that path. You'll have self-serve and Clatterate because all of print will be now in Clatterate, no more in PACE. And then we'll have estimate request. And so everything from design, engineer, TPOP, Fab, centralized estimating, kitting will all go through an estimate request, the same path. So you won't have to remember the 500 different ways to do it, there'll be 2 paths. So we'll train that next week. I'll also go over a little bit more of a demo on kind of what's to come with more of the project. And then The third week of May, tile jobs move over to PACE. So that's kind of the last final thing that'll be left. We'll train on that. And then also fab tasks. So if fab is just a task within a print production plan, you'll no longer have to go through the whole estimate process and job process and all of that. It'll just go along with your Collaborate ticket. So hopefully that'll help, for that heat bending or CNC cutting operations. Kind of hopefully that'll help save some time as well. Okay, so that's just kind of some things that are kind of a pain, for you. But, by changing those, it's not going to really save you a ton of time. It's not going to make you super efficient. What we're looking at doing in August is developing a tool called PM Home Base. Now, that's not the final name, so don't hold me to that. Jerome really doesn't like that name. So if you guys have a better name for it, come see me, because I'm not a branding expert by any means. But this tool is kind of that one-stop shop for you guys. It's that one place to go for your estimate, one place to start your job, one place to start putting that information. No longer will you need all those trackers and things. All the information will go right in the system. All your digital assets will be linked right there. So when you're talking about your art files, your drawings, your planograms, all that stuff will be a one-stop shop that'll gather it all together. You also have a dashboard that'll be able to, you'll see all of your projects and what you have to do on it. It's a really, really cool tool. I'll be demoing a little bit of that next week. Julie, you've seen the demo. It's really hard to explain and get you excited, but once you see it, you can really see the benefit and how it's going to really change the game here at UDG. Core Media. So Core Media is, I don't know if you guys knew that we purchased a digital asset management system. It's called Core Media. A couple people have been piloting it, but we're going to fully implement it out. Dev will be complete by August 1st, and it'll link right to PM Home Base. And that's really about all those digital assets, little planograms, art files, all those things can link together. Right now when we look at it, things are copied in like 7 different locations, and it's like, what version are we using? You're working with pre-press lot, and all of that stuff will be linked together, and it adds a lot more functionality to really make us more efficient. So, PM optimization, I can't be more excited, but Ben is going to kind of go over this week's new updates.
All right, so color work. Why are we putting color work in Collaborative? No beating around the bush. The number one reason by far is the PACE data entry. And I know that some teams thrive in PACE. They've been here for a long time and they're used to it. But the reality is that a very high percentage of people do not interact much with PACE or don't do it efficiently. So you have some teams that are good at it, most teams that aren't. New hires have a really hard time with it. It's something that some teams don't do a lot of color work in general. So those teams are often referring to the SOP just to get it out the once a month they may be doing it. So really the goal is to get the color work out of PACE. But there's more to it. There's a lot of business rules, and we're going to be going through this in a little bit, but there's some tribal knowledge that's like, hey, we need you to remember to put these 32 things in your notes. And then you just have to remember all 32 things every time you do it. Don't forget. So just kind of putting some data points in the system. Again, we'll go over that. Unified process from team to team. Right now, Mac, Sephora, Kohler, all 3 have different processes when they do color work. And we need to get everybody on the same page. So everybody's following the same process, so teams in the floor can expect the same way. And so at the end of the day, if you're slow and you need to support another team, the process isn't different from one team to another. So huge value there. Data points that kind of speaks for itself a little bit, but we'll be able to report on those data points now. And then foundation. Amanda just kind of explained our goals for August, which they're going to be here before we know it. There's some great things coming for you guys, but we have to kind of set the foundation this month for what's coming, and these are the changes that are going to impact that. All right, so the workflow. The new workflow, starting Tuesday, everything we're going over will be live on Tuesday, is going to start with a production ticket. The blue things on here represent the production ticket. The orange steps here represent the color side of it. So you're going to start with a standard job ticket and ask for a hard proof. And you're going to get your hard proof, and you're going to confirm first that you need color work. Because maybe you think you need color work, but you get your proof and you don't actually need color work. Regardless, you're always going to start with a hard proof, and you're going to, once you see that it's wrong, and you know you need color work, you'll then go back into Collateral, and you'll enter a color work job. At which point, color work will commence by the color team. There will be an approval and decline step, and we'll go over each of these more in detail, but the approve and the decline is going to be new functionality. And then once you approve it, they'll save that color note. You'll be notified of the color information, at which point you'll go back to that original job that you ran that hard proof on, and you'll update the information with the color information, and then it can proceed. And we'll go through each of these in more detail. That's when I'm supposed to be hitting this button here. Okay, so all of these things I already mentioned, and we'll break it down more. Start with the hard proof. So this does not apply to color grids or ring tests. I always forget that term. This does not apply to those. So if you're doing a ring test or a color grid, you don't have to start with the hard proof run. You can go straight to the color ticket. Okay? And Alan thinks that's roughly half of our color work is ring tests, and half is right to try to match something. Okay? But if you are not doing a color grid or a ring test, you are required to first do that hard proof ticket. Now, some people think that that hard proof is an unnecessary step, but the reality is that's what we do today, and you just may not know it. Anytime you enter a PR ticket that needs to match something, the first thing they do is they run a proof to look at the color before they start doing any color work. All right? What this does is running this hard proof helps production create a link between what's actually going to be produced and the color work. So someone like Holly in scheduling now has better context into where to schedule this color work. Where should we do the color work? Based on it being something you're going to run 4 of them or 4,000. Where we do that, right? So this helps.
What if we don't know how many we're going on? Because like Mac, we don't know if we're doing color work. So we don't know if we're doing 4 of them or if we're doing 400.
We will touch on that by the end, so bear with me on that one. So there is a process for that that'll be pretty clean. Once you've got your color work and you know that you need to do, or once you've got your hard proof and you know that you need to do color work, then you're going to go into the hub and you're going to do your order entry for your color work. And we're going to make this as simple as possible. There's going to be new options for color work right in your product list. There are standard terms you're used to hearing: boards, UV rolls, aqueous. We all know what that means by now. And we're going to reduce tribal knowledge. So instead of requiring you to remember those data points, we're going to have fields for you to select. And we'll do a live demonstration in a minute. I'll go through all of those fields, and it'll make way more sense. But a huge win there. One tool for print order entry. So now you're able to do your order entry in the same place for your hard proof and your color work. We think this is a big win. And now we're also going to add the functionality to add a job to an existing order in Collateral. Now, it may seem odd that the functionality has been there for a long time. We're going to take advantage of it. We'll go over that. We'll do a training on that as well, a live demonstration. And then new ticket identifier. There will be instead of that little hard proof red circle you see on the ticket, we're going to have a color work sticker, because we're really used to seeing PR and that being like the identifier that separates the ticket from most. Now we're going to take advantage of a new little stamp look. So that'll be order entry. We'll do a live demonstration in a moment. The approval and the decline process. This is going to be very familiar to you. Anytime you've done soft proof approvals in the hub for large format work, we're going to take advantage of the same approve and decline process for all of our color work. So when you want to approve or decline, you don't have to send emails or do this like verbal process. It's now going to be handled in the system. You can track the number of declines. It'll help with tracking revision quantities, things like that. we're gonna go over that some more, but I think it's going to be very self-explanatory. Something to remember, color work is very unique and is often difficult to explain in a paragraph what needs to change from revision to revision. And so when you're today having verbal communication with the color team, we're asking that you continue that tomorrow. That don't take away that verbal communication for the color team and expect them to comprehend what needs to change on version 2 based on some 3 sentences, right? So that's just a reminder. And then version control. There's a slight change in version control, but only because it's handled differently from team to team. What we're going to start doing is we want to handle all versions or revisions to color work in one job, or one part, right? Some teams today in the PACE, they'll add a different part for each version that goes to the client, and that'll help them control their versions that way. We want to put version control in one job. And this just simplifies the number of jobs you have to enter on the back end. But it also is something the color team is going to make a few changes with. So they'll change their nomenclature so that they can